G'day guys, Luke here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, guys, we are doing part 2 of the Reptile room for September 2024. Today we're starting with Chappie and Orchid. Has some excellent news to come out of this enclosure. No, we didn't get the eggs yet, but let's hope. But Chappie here has eaten for the first time in 14 months. That's correct. Chappie here did not eat since June 2023. Even though from then to now, I did assist feeding him a couple of times to get his gut going. However, he took food for the first time a couple of weeks ago in 14 months. Now, I tried every trick in the book to get him eating, from rats, mice, to nosing, to braining, every trick in the book. But nothing was working. The last resort I had was trying a different food item, which was quails, or doing live food, which I didn't want to do, because that's kind of a no-no in the animal kingdom, or at least in the industry. However, he took a quail, so let's hope I can get him bulked up and get him back to being his normal self in no time. His girlfriend, Orchid, however, is still a menace as ever. When she smells food, she's become a very unpredictable snake to deal with. But when I do get her out for handling and just overall, being played, I guess, she's very friendly, very gentle. So when she's not in that food mode, she's a snake I love. When she's in that food mode, she's a snake I kind of dread dealing with. However, these two snakes are both housed in a 120 centimeter enclosure by 55 by 55 centimeters. In the enclosure itself, we've got the aspen bedding as a substrate, 2 hides, a couple of branches for them to climb on and perch on. I am thinking of adding more in here just to fill up a bit more for these guys and have more climbing opportunities. Got fake plants, water bowl. I got the ceramic heater meter. When it comes to heat in this room, guys, it's either a heat pad, a ceramic, or infrared projector. When it comes to lighting, I either use a display light, it doesn't matter if it's a tube or just a little light bulb, just those. Or when it comes to UVB, I just use the LED UVB light bars, which I'll point out in the video. So that's that for that enclosure. Below Chappie and Orchid, we've got another carpet python named Charles. Now, Charles here is my albino Darwin carpet python. It's a bit funny where sometimes she'll eat for a couple of months, then she'll stop eating for a period of time, then she'll start eating again at random. So she's kind of a funny snake to predict when she's going to eat or not eat. However, she's eating, she's healthy, she's fine. But yeah, Charles is a little bit Charles. She's housed in a 90 centimeter by I think 45 by 45 or 50 deep. It's a custom wooden enclosure. I just can't remember the dimensions. In her enclosure, we do have the aspen bedding as a substrate, which is the main bedding I use for my snakes. 2 hides, fake plant, a vine, water bowl, a couple of hides, backing, hammock, heating, and the light strip for display. Her neighbours, Superstar and Graham, are my 2 oldest snakes in the family. Both of these girls will be 15 years of age at the end of the year. Now, these 2 beautiful snakes are housed in a 90 centimeter by 60 by 60 centimeter enclosure. Now, I don't know if I mentioned it already because sometimes I forget straight away, but these 2 are my blind spotted pythons. In the enclosure, I've got a water bowl down the front corner here. Got the bedding, 3 places for them to hide in. Now, this black one here is their favourite because they both like to go in there. I've got a branch in there, fake plant, rocks, bit of wood, backing, heat, and just a display light for these 2 beautiful snakes. Superstar and Graham are doing very well, other than the fact that they're both not eating at the moment. So hopefully in the next month or 2, they'll start eating again soon and everything will be back to normal. Superstar is the first kind of winter ever she's gone without food for the last 14 years I can think of. Graham has done it for the last probably 10 years easily. But overall, both snakes are healthy, they're fine. And yeah, just nothing too crazy other than the fact that both girls are eating or not eating at the moment. So I'll keep you guys updated when they start eating again. Below those 2 snakes, we've got my 2 diamond pythons. Now, this is Atram and Aurelia. So the one looking at us right now is Atram. Or I should say he, is the darker one. And the one that's gone over the top of him is Aurelia. Now, Aurelia is also a male, so I thought these 2 were a pair, or I was hoping so. But however, I got them sexed by a friend who's really good at sexing snakes, and I can confirm they are both males, so it looks like my little breeding project for diamond pythons is not going to happen anytime soon, unless I find a female or I breed with a friend of mine. But honestly, that's something I kind of want to avoid because I don't want to have any drama with friends. So I'd rather do things myself. No offense to all my friends out there, but that's how I'd rather keep our friendship intact than destroy it with some stupid breeding project. Anyway, both diamond pythons here are doing excellent, smashing food, enjoying life, and yeah, nothing too crazy to report on other than enclosure. There's 180 centimeters by 60 by 60. In the enclosure, we've got the coconut fibre as a substrate, 3 hides, a couple of branches, and a couple of vines in here from the climb onto, water bowl, backing, the heating, and this is the LED UV light bars I was mentioning earlier. On the other side of the reptile room, we've got a few more Antaresia pythons to cover off. So we've got 4 children pythons that we'll cover off, and then we'll move on to something different. So housing this 80 centimeter by 50 by 50 houses my breeding pair of children pythons, Emma and Azula. You can see Emma is currently sitting in his warm hide at the moment, looking very menacingly at me. Now Emma and Azula here have been doing exceptionally well. We start out Emma, then we go back to Azula. Now Emma, he's been very protective of his girl and his territory. Yes, he's still focused on feeding, but he's still focused on mating and protecting his territory and his girl. But other than that, he's doing just fine. Azula here has gone off food. She's in a nest box at the moment, just vibing out. And hopefully in a month or two, I'll get some eggs from her again. I think this is the 4th season we had these two breeding. So these will kind of be my breeding project for a long, long time, hopefully, if all goes well. In the enclosure, guys, we've got the aspen bedding as a substrate, water bowl, 3 hides, a nest box, a fake plant, a couple of branches. Where Emma is sitting underneath that part of the enclosure, there is a heat pad keeping that enclosure, or that part of the enclosure warm, a backing. Then there's a light strip that kind of goes throughout the whole room, but we'll get to that in a moment. Their neighbours are Aaron and Snickers. 2 more Antaresias, so another 2 more children pythons. Both are females. Originally, they were going to be part of a breeding project here, but I also found out baby children pythons are an absolute nightmare to get going. So I'm just happy to deal with 1 pair and only have about 10 to 12 babies to deal with instead of having 30 or 40 babies to trying to get going and trying to get them to live, because it sucks when they die. It absolutely sucks. So this one here in the hide here is Snickers. Snickers here is a very cool, calm, collected snake, more of the active type. She'll come out during the day or night, doesn't matter when. Explore her enclosure, get a stretch, check out what's going on in her environment. Then she'll find a place to hide and just curl up and rest for a little bit. But yeah, she's doing fantastic. Likewise with Erin here. So Erin is a very shy snake. She'll only come out probably in the middle of the night where no one's looking. She's very gentle when it comes to taking her food for the most part. It depends on the day. But overall, she spends a lot of the time either in this little brown hide she's currently in, or in the black one with Snickers when they warm up. In the enclosure, guys, they've got the aspen bedding again. 2 proper hides I've already gone through. A fake rock stack for these guys. All it is really is some insulation foam cut up with some tile pointing. A little bit of paint, then I just gently stacked them on top of each other, making sure they were stabled so the snakes can't push them over or tip them over. And in some areas I have used kebab sticks just to secure it a bit better. And overall, I do like to look at the appearance. The only thing is missing is a nice backing to set it off. There are a couple of branches and fake plants in here, a water bowl. And the enclosure dimension is 100 centimeters by 50 centimeters by 50 centimeters. So that is those 2 done and dusted. Now head down to the next 2 enclosures that houses a black-headed python and a goanna, who we get to in a minute. Now Chris here and Ray, before I go down to the cage, both enclosures are 180 centimeters by 60 by 60. Chris here at the moment is just hiding in the hide. Now when it comes to food, she is such a what's the word I'm looking for? A very dangerous snake to deal with. Being an 8-foot black-headed python with pure muscle, she can do some damage on me. And if she gets a hold of me during feeding, I'm going to have a hard time getting her off me. So she is quite an unpredictable snake to work with. However, when there's no food, she's one of the most placid snakes out there. She's cool, calm, collected. And overall, I guess in a way, if you're a kid, she's a good little weight to train yourself with to get some muscle. She weighs about 5 kilos, so she's a pretty good solid snake, but she's a gentle snake when there's no food around. In her enclosure, we've just got 2 big hides for her to hide into. Got a water bowl, a branch, a backing, Got a fake plant, her heat, just a display light to brighten up her enclosure. Down this end of the enclosure, she's got a nice deep end with substrate. She can burrow through and do what she wants. Over there's a bit more shallower, where she can just sit under her heat and chill out. Or should I say warm up. Below her, we've got the absolute menace to society. This is Ray. Now, Ray, he's my Rosenberg monitor. Now, he is a cheeky boy where I've got to try and train him because he is a bit more feral. The other day, a friend of mine came over and helped me trim his nails to help me deal with him. His claws got that sharp, it was actually shredding my arms in bits and pieces. So, thankfully, that's dealt with and they're not as bad as what they used to be. He hated that, so yeah, I'm glad. So, got to be careful when he doesn't bite me because he does have some pretty good teeth on him, even though he's a small species of goanna, or medium size because there are small species. But still, getting bitten by him sucks, and I don't want to do that again. Overall, he's doing quite well. I'll probably just feed him once a week at this stage. He'll get a rat or a couple of quails now, something different for him. He's kind of outgrown his superworms now, unfortunately. Kind of sad because that was his favourite food item, but going through a tub of superworms a week is not ideal sometimes. So in his enclosure, I've got his hide over here, a couple of rocks underneath his basking light where he can get some extra heat from that. Fake plants that he just destroys. His backing that he's destroyed. I might end up taking his hammock and his log out and place some shelving along the back wall for him to climb onto. Because he doesn't really use the hammock nor the branch. So the branch I don't know what to do with, but the hammock I might chuck in with Chappie and Orchid as they do like their hammocks, or used to. Got his water bowl and coconut fibre as his substrate. While we're on the topic of goannas, we might as well cover off the other little demon in this room. Here we have Roseau. Now Roseau, he's my Ridgetail monitor. He's doing quite well. Out of the 3 goannas I do have in the family, he's probably the best one by far to be handled. At first when you do grab him, he's a bit shy, he wants to run and hide, and doesn't want to be touched. After a couple of minutes, he does realise he mean no harm, and he's more than happy to be handled. Even though sometimes he does try to make a break for it, however, he's usually a pretty good little lizard. Ray, on the other hand, you try to pick him up, he'll try and bite you. And with Dusty, he'll try to run, he'll pull on you, and if he gets half a chance, he will also bite you. So, other than the other 2, Rosie, he doesn't bite, so I'm quite thankful for that. Another thing too about Rosie is he's quite an inquisitive little lizard. He'll come to the front of the cage, check what's going on, and just watches what you do. So Rosie here is housed in a 120cm by 55 by 55cm enclosure. In his enclosure, got a sandy substrate, a fake rock stack very similar to Aaron's Snickers. Got his branches, his water bowl. His hide over here is filled with wet sand, so he can have a bit of a burrow, a bit of a dig. He actually likes to sleep in that hide, so it keeps him nice and cool as well. So he doesn't mind that. So his fake plants, heating, and UVB. Above him, we've got 2 more entries of pythons to cover off. So this enclosure here, or should I say both enclosures, are both 60cm by 45 by 45cm. Caesar here is my male blonde spotted python. He is a very cranky, very unpredictable character where he does not like to be touched. So he's more of a display snake than a handling snake. So we just thought, we'll leave him be, let him live his life. And overall, just give him the peace and quiet he deserves. He'll eat when he feels like it. It's pretty much similar to Charles in that regard, where he'll only eat every so often. His enclosure, guys, he does have a heat pad on the underside of his enclosure on the left-hand side. He also gets heating from Rosie from below. Got 3 places to hide for him. He's got his aspen bedding. So 2 of the hides on the ground, as you can see, and 1 suspended from the rooftop. He's got his water bowl backing and a light strip that he shares with his neighbour, which is Valentino. A couple of fun facts about Valentino is, he's actually the baby to Aaron Seekers, Emma and Azula. So I lost my train of thought, sorry. So Emma and Azula, when the first ever had their first clutch, Valentino was the first one born, so we decided to keep him. And since he was born on Valentine's Day, that's how he got his name, Valentino. With Valentino, he's a very cheeky bugger. He likes to set ambushes and bite me all the time. Has a food response like his dad, but once I do get him out, he has the temper of his mother. It's just once you get him out of his food mode, he's quite a friendly snake. His enclosure, guys, is similarly set up to Caesar. So he's got a heat pad to the left-hand side, 2 proper hides, a fake rock stack he's got there where he can kind of sit underneath and ambush from sometimes. Cheeky little thing. Water bowl. He's got his branches he can climb up on. He's got his backing and he's got his light strip. That's the last of the Entregias. I do have a soft spot for them, so there's about 8 of them in the family. As a kind of the first I've ever owned, and a species that I connect with in a way. The last 2 enclosures we are going to cover off for this reptile room is Valentino. It's not Valentino, damn it. Is Willow and Diablo. Now, Willow and Diablo are my 2 brown tree snakes. We'll start with Willow. She's the more feisty brown tree snake of the family. She's actually what you consider a normal brown tree snake, which are quite defensive and will snap out if provoked. And she'll run and hide and overall just hates being confronted. So Willow and Diablo's enclosures are both 70 centimeters long by 50 by 50 centimeters. In both of the enclosures, we've got the aspen bedding as a substrate, got the water bowl, 3 places for them to hide, their backing, branches and fake plants. Willow at the moment is short of food, so I'm hoping as the weather warms up here in Australia, she'll start eating again, and then hopefully by then she'll get some size, some weight, and hopefully by then too, and later on in the year, if I start handling her a bit more often, she can calm down and her stress can be decreased, so she can have no stress in her life and she doesn't have to worry about being a defensive little girl. Her partner over here, Diablo, is the opposite to what she normally is. Diablo here is a very calm snake. He's not, when I first got him, he used to be a bit bitey, but however, just over time with bonding, he's become such a placid brown tree snake that I can trust with anyone, without him not having to worry him biting anyone. So very different to what you see commonly with brown tree snakes being a very defensive species. He's a very calm individual, and overall, he's a fantastic snake. Eats all year round, and he's just a happy little guy. So that'll be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Any questions, feel free to ask. Hopefully I covered all bases with each enclosure and showcased everyone in this room. That way you guys got to see what they look like and who they are. Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.